What's going on, guys? Shots with Jay back at it again with another one. Now this one's gonna be pretty special for me because this channel is basically God and guns, but better than guns is God. You know what I mean? And that includes His Word, the Holy Scriptures, the Bible. And basically on this channel, I want to start also including really cool things like different types of Bibles, maybe reviewing, maybe going ahead and unboxing, or maybe some other things. I also recently picked up the Diary of Saint Faustina Kowalska, just an example, right? But I want to get started with this specific one because this one's brand new and wrapped. I got others that are pretty cool too, but they're not brand new. Maybe I'll still go ahead and get into those, but I just wanted to go ahead and start off, this kind of series or whatever with this one. So this is the Ignatius Catholic Study Bible, the Old and the New Testament, RSVC 2CE, and basically this thing has been in the making for about a quarter century, 25 years, okay, for it to be completed. With Ignatius, they've released book by book, like you'll have like Genesis or I don't know, it could be like different parts of the New Testament or the Old Testament, but they never had it where it's all together in one go, the Old and the New Testament combined. And they recently went ahead and released this, from my understanding. So this is the personal size. The bigger size was released around December of 2024, and this one was earlier of this year. And this is the personal size, so that means like you can go ahead and take this really wherever you want. It is still pretty thick, not gonna lie. Take a look at that. It is a big boy, quality hardcover. Yeah, there is a leather version. This is not that. This is the hardcover, and it says right there, personal size, quality hardcover, the Revised Standard Version, Second Catholic Edition. That's a translation. Let's take a look at the back before we go ahead and actually rip this thing open. If you have to take a single Bible resource to a desert island, let it be the Ignatius Catholic Study Bible. This is a landmark achievement that will permanently impact the English-speaking Catholicism around the world. So this is pretty much exactly what that says. If you can only have one thing, I think this is such a great resource. Just from everything I've seen on YouTube, different types of reviews, unboxing, literally everybody says that, compared to all the other study Bibles, which are all great, especially like I got the Oxford one. There's also the Didache, but this one, it really takes a scholarly approach mixed with tradition from the fathers and the saints, and basically blends it in one to give you the most accurate, in my opinion, the most accurate commentary and things like that. Tons and tons of notes. This is the side. Okay, so the top, the Catholic Study Bible, the Old and New Testament, Revised Standard Edition, Second Catholic Edition, personal size, and then the Ignatius logo. So, I mean, right on, man. Like, I can't wait to get into this thing. It had tons of things. Look, like 2,300 pages, 16 pages of color maps, 50 maps though in general, 17,500 plus explanatory footnotes, 20 plus essays on this, like, that are in there, 140 plus word study. I can go on and on. This thing, it's just completely packed and loaded. It's crazy. So aside from all that stuff, I think let's go ahead and rip this thing open already. Oh, before we do that, take a look at this, right? Take a look at what exactly you're getting in the front. Look how gorgeous this is. And, of course, this is representing the four Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and then you have Christ in the center. Like, this just looks unreal. It looks unmatched. So let's go ahead and take a look. I don't know how to, I probably should have brought my knife. All right, managed to go ahead and get my finger in right there. Let's go ahead and remove this plastic. It's like that film kind of thing. Okay, it already feels pretty good. You can tell that this thing's gonna slide off, and wow, it does feel like quality. Now, I went ahead and picked this up on eBay. Okay, I know these can be pretty expensive, literally brand new on eBay. I don't know if someone was just trying to get rid of it or whatever. Same with my St. Faustina diary. I just got crazy deal. I got that brand new. That thing goes for like 45 to 55 bucks. Got it for $20. It was used, slight little marks in there, but for 20 bucks, not bad at all. And this one I got it completely brand new for like, I think these go for like what, 60 bucks, something like that. 70 on some sites. I got it for like 30, 35 bucks. So not bad. Yo, take a look at this though. Take a look at this though. You literally feel the, like you can feel the, I don't want to say engraving, but you know what I mean, like that type of thing where like it's molded into it. Everything like with the letters, with this looks like legendary, and it really is. You know, it is the Holy Scriptures. This, you know, the way this feels tells you exactly what this is, and it looks just totally, just, you know, next level. You can go ahead and feel the status of this thing. Just right off the bat, you know, it is the Holy Sacred Scriptures, so I think it's quite fitting. Not to say that the paperbacks and everything aren't Holy Scripture at 100%, they totally are. I just think that this just takes it to a whole new level, you know, with the quality for it to last forever and things like that. So that is the front. Not gonna lie, this feels pretty great. Like you can definitely just easily tell the quality right off the bat. Look at that. Even just to kind of show you all what we're getting at. That's the side right there. And like I said, it is thick. So like, I'm not gonna tell you guys, yeah, I mean, you know, it's just like a regular Bible. No, it's not. It's definitely thicker, much thicker. And that's because our Bibles are a lot bigger than Protestant Bibles in the first place. Just because, you know, we have a 73 book canon instead of 66. This is the back. So the back is blank. So right here, you got it basically on the side and in the front, okay? This is the first page. Man, it's kind of like so nice that I don't really want to mess this thing up already, but I know it is, like, so I can use it, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's you know, built to help us get to heaven. Contents, you have basically all these things like the overview, this and that, and then you have like the introductions. This is the introductions to these. I don't even think it's the, yeah, look, it's text and commentary, abbreviations for the books in the Bible, contributing writers. I know it took a lot to do this. Again, 25 years in the making for this thing. Just 25 years. Like, let's just go to somewhere random. All right, you have Samuel here, so on top of basically the actual scriptures. So that's that half, right? This bottom half, you're gonna have tons of different things by verse of what it meant. Like for instance, 6:8, by broken forth, it meant it recalls how Yahweh's power burst forth against the Philistines. So you can go ahead and just see, like, there's like so much material. It's crazy. Let's go somewhere in the New Testament, right? Just so I can go ahead and keep it fair. And it has that fresh book smell, right? Where whenever you open it, you are basically smelling, you know, just that fresh smell. And man, it is thick. Look at that. One sec, this thing running out of battery. All right, I finally got a battery replacement. I checked out like another one. That one was also out of battery. Oh yeah, y'all peep the ring. Got married recently. I'll go ahead and post some stuff on my shorts about that, maybe videos or pictures soon. But anyways, yeah, right. So right here, we're just in the Gospel of Matthew. Again, you can go ahead and take a look at all of the notes this thing has. I'll go ahead and zoom in there. Like literally half of this is just explanatory footnotes and things to help you kind of understand the context. And then the upper half is like the actual scripture. So what I'm trying to tell you is, just for it to be half and half, you know, it just literally shows you how thick this thing is. You know what I mean? You literally, you know, maybe over a third to half of this entire thing is footnotes, essays, commentary, things like that. And then the introduction, right? So this is just like per book. Let's go ahead and zoom in here. This is an example, right? So this one is the introduction to the letter of St. James. And then, it just goes on explaining everything right here. The author of the epistle identifies himself as James. Then it explains everything because several persons of the New Testament bear this name. It's necessary to settle on the identity by a process of elimination. Like, this really tells you everything. And you go on and like literally look at all that, right? All that stuff. And it's just like for the introductory per book. And I know a lot of Bibles do include that. But again, this specific one, this Bible from Ignatius, it blends, scholarly content with tradition from the fathers and the saints. So the church fathers. So I think that's amazing because you make sure that you never lose that ancient spark. Many times a lot of the scholars, like for instance, I have the Oxford Study Bible and it's great. Don't get me wrong. It really is up there with like, scholar material and things like that in their commentary. But I feel like it does lack the spark that this one has in terms of respecting just the tradition and like the miracles to the extent that they are. And a lot of times it'll say, well, the author was using wordplay in this instance or things like that to convey a greater message. And a lot of the times that could be true, right? But here you just get that blend of the tradition, the supernatural content with the history and things like that. I don't know if that makes sense, but I try to make that as clear as possible. And yeah, look, like even right here, you have word study. Aside from all like the footnotes and things like that, you just have everything. Like you will not be lacking if you have this thing. You have the whole thing from beginning to end. It's really great. And look, especially right here, like in Revelations, you got a big piece right here, just alone on what is Babylon, right? Continued. Okay, so I assume that means that. You see, what is Babylon? This whole thing, like I'm telling you guys, you're not going to lack in any way, shape, or form. Like if you got this, you literally take, the time to really go through this thing. You're going to always come out better than how you started. Like that's guaranteed for sure. And even here, right? Like just at any time, like the devil's around or creation or anything else, you're going to go ahead and have different types of like the content where they are in which parts of the scripture. Like this thing will tell you everything. It even goes as far as to tell you like just specifically on our canon of scripture, like why our canon, why this and that overview of like it. I'm telling you, it has literally everything. Look, the covenant with Noah, with Abraham over here, with Moses. It tells you like all the covenants. Like this thing is the real deal. A lot of study Bibles, they are great. They do have a lot to give for what they are. But this thing, I think it might be the best ever made. And, saying that is quite a statement because, how many study Bibles there have been? There's plenty of, especially, in America, a lot big Protestant, population here. You know how many study Bibles there are just in general? Protestants, Catholic. Yeah, I mean, like just in general, like from the thousands of material that's out there, for this to be the best, I mean, you really got to make sure that that you are, up there with just everything. There's so many ways that this could have gone, and honestly, I think it's a home run. They definitely, hit the ball out of the park for sure. I think that they really nailed it right here. I mean, like, look at this. Everything is nice. The external and the internal material is just great. You can just tell that, like, if you were to have one thing, this would definitely be it. Again, a quarter century in the making. That's not a small amount of years. 25 years to go ahead and complete this thing. They had like the different parts of different books and stuff like that, pieces of the Old Testament, New Testament, but this is it, like the whole thing completed. Like it's done. Like this is what it is. It's just really great. You know, and again, this is just right off the bat for me opening it. I'm sure there's just so much that I haven't really touched on or gone over. And again, guys, you know, this is going to be the start of like me actually including like different books in the channel, Bibles and stuff. I still love guns. I'm always going to love guns. I'm always going to include guns because I do support guns, right? But this is, you know, the bigger weapon over anything, right? This is the greatest defense you can have because this is for your soul, not just your flesh or whatever. So anyways, yeah, guys, Shots with Jay. I appreciate y'all tapping in. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what else you guys want me to touch on. What else maybe I didn't show you guys that you guys maybe wanted to have seen. Just let me know anything, right? Your thoughts or whatever. Again, appreciate you guys. All right, much love. Catch you guys later.